whereas the misoprostol stopped the bleeding in 13 minutes. So now the camp's, huh?
So we're almost to 1:30.
Okay.
Do you want to take some questions?
Let me just finish this one thing, and because the real public health message lies in just this next comment. Let's get away from the pharmacogenetics thing. But what you can see here is 11.8 minutes, 13.4 minutes. That's not a difference of public health magnitude. While the WHO may then say, oh yeah, so you see, we told you all along oxytocin is better than misoprostol. But in the back of our minds, we're thinking of that setting where really no oxytocin is available. 13 minutes, that's not too bad. I can live with that. And so this is where a lot of the people, and it's it's only a 5% difference. If we plotted that out, it would really be still a very advantageous in terms of the number of needed to treat to prevent mortality from postpartum hemorrhage. It would still be in favor of both misoprostol and oxytocin. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Does that make you happy?
Yeah.
Okay. Shannon?
Just in terms of having wrestled with government policies and procedures and what's appropriate, what's not, has any country gone a practical route of saying either one is appropriate? That if you have oxytocin, that should be your first-line treatment, but if you don't have access to oxytocin, then misoprostol is acceptable and approved for use in our country for those settings where you don't have available oxytocin?
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
All of the countries in which we're working with misoprostol, that's the stance.
Okay.
There's none that say use misoprostol as a first line. They all say oxytocin first line in the absence of oxy or a skilled provider to administer oxy, misoprostol or sometimes ergometrin.
And that's what we say too. I mean, we don't say, oh, no, forget the oxytocin, it's too expensive. We do exactly what, we toe the line, exactly say, absolutely oxytocin is the first line drug. But if you don't have it, which, wink, wink, we know you don't have it in a lot of places, use the misoprostol. And that's what it takes, and usually what it really takes in these settings is some NGO is going to come in and identify a potential champion, someone who wants to carry the ball on this one, carry it to the Ministry of Health, bring the research there and show them, yes, this misoprostol works, the women of our country need this. And in most instances, unless abortion rears its head really way above the radar, we've been successful in getting misoprostol for either, especially for postpartum hemorrhage, and in some cases for post-abortion care, approved. Other questions? Oh, come on. Yeah.
Just following on, the conflict lies between the facility-based, encouragement of facility-based deliveries versus use of oxytocin versus misoprostol. I mean, in India, the government is encouraging facility-based deliveries like anything. And on the other hand, they say the A&M or the midwife should be taught to give intramuscular injections, so then again oxytocin should be the preferred drug.
Perfect.
So how does that, I mean, we are, in a sense, how does that relate to other countries using misoprostol as still the first line, or the where the oxytocin not available, how does that thinking still work?
So, your observation about governments wanting to increase institutional births is right on, and every government wants to increase institutional births. And if they can't increase an institutional birth, at least they're trying to increase the proportion of births at which there's a skilled birth attendant. And in most instances, a skilled birth attendant can administer IM oxytocin, can undertake all the elements of active management of the third stage of labor. And we're right there. We're fine. We encourage all that. We endorse that. The problem is that there's still a lot of home births. There's still a lot of births that are not attended by a skilled birth attendant, and there's still a lot of births where even at the district hospital or the skilled birth attendant does not have the oxytocin. And in those instances, we're saying if you don't have the oxytocin, use the misoprostol. Does that answer your question, or is that
I mean, that's a debate which is going on in
Yeah.
sense to cater to the home deliveries, but still government doesn't want to accept the fact of home deliveries and would still want to encourage it.
Well, you're right. It often takes someone who knows what's really going on out there and is willing to accept the fact that home deliveries are going to continue to occur. This is preventing them with misoprostol, and I didn't get to show you the study where it actually use of misoprostol in sort of a home, it was a hospital, but it was almost as if it was a home delivery setting compared to nothing, did decrease postpartum hemorrhage by 30%. Which means, as I told you before, it still happened, but just the act of giving those pills decreased postpartum hemorrhage by about 30%. So, why not? Any other questions or comments? Yeah, or well, I'll take one from down here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the idea that somebody that could be trained to use misoprostol could be considered not a trained or not a skilled birth attendant?
So did everyone hear the question? Could somebody who is using misoprostol, what you're really saying is, could a non-skilled birth attendant, for instance, a traditional birth attendant, for example, be trained to use misoprostol? Well, that's actually one of the cutting-edge issues, is will agencies like WHO approve that? Will WHO approve, or will other sort of NGO type or policy-making agencies approve just giving, forget the traditional birth attendant, forget the skilled birth attendant, just giving it to the woman and say, maybe she shows up for some prenatal care, which happens, but we know she's not going to come to the institution for the delivery, or it's unlikely. We give her the misoprostol and say, as soon as the baby's out, and you have no reason to believe you have a second baby, take the misoprostol, but not before the baby's out. And that's what a lot of people are worried about, is that there'll be inappropriate use of misoprostol, that people